This is a brand new effort on our part, a new scheduling. Lionel Nation here is going to be revamping and rechanging things because we are, frankly, and I'm not going to go into too much, but for those who watch our lives, we always do the live at 7 o'clock in the morning. I mean, 9 o'clock in the morning and 7 p.m. at night, and we're just hitting a period of stagnancy. We need to mix this thing up. I need to change things. I don't want to go into the specific dynamics of this, but I will tell you that we're going to be doing something different. And the best thing for me to advise you of, you better stay hooked in and connected to Lionel Nation. Make sure you are a part of this, which is really critical, because you have to be a part of this thing to know when we're live. That's the way we're going to do it. So I also noticed something very interesting. I was watching Fox News just for a moment, and it was almost comical yet pathetically sad to see the morning crew trying to explain tariffs. It was so bad. Lawrence, this poor kid, young, he seems like a young man. Ainsley, forget it. I don't know. Without her notes, she doesn't know. And they're trying to explain the notion of a tariff and how we're going to feel the sting while maintaining a position of being a Trump apologist. Absolutely funny, absolutely hysterically funny, because they literally, and I use that word literally correctly, they really don't know what the hell they're talking about. They have no earthly idea of what they're saying. I mean, it is, and it's nice, but that's not what I want to talk about. I like talking about issues that are so perfect. They grasp, they're so, it's a combination of low-hanging fruit and no duh. And I love to say that. There's no duh. And it works like this. The number one issue, the number one fact that will get more people to vote Republican or vote Trump or vote whatever this is to explain to people the absolute and sheer lunacy of this transgender, cross-dressing, double standard, hypocrisy, mental hospital insanity. This is mental hospital crazy. That's what this is. There are people still walking around, still laboring under a mental illness. Now, you can talk about this all you want, but the notion of transgender activism, up to and including that involving these folks who are contaminating and being an interloper and fancying themselves as being, I guess, you might want to say, maybe I guess you would say, people who are trying to make a stand, to make some form of stand or take. I don't know. I have no idea how this thing works. But what I am seeing is absolute and sheer and total lunacy, absolute lunacy on the part of people walking around saying, I am a woman and look at me and accept me and don't say anything about this, because if you do, you'll be considered homophobic or transphobic. It's time for people to say, this is insanity. And there is occupational insanity, operational insanity, functional insanity. A lot of people that we know, I know many people who are so close to being hospitalizable. This past week, I'm noticing in my own particular world, people who have severe OCD lunacy and severe, what you might call ADD or ADHD, or I don't know what it is, but people are not right now. I can't go into too much detail because somebody who's listening will say, hey, that's me you're talking about. I'll never name names, but I've seen stuff that you cannot believe. So before we begin, let me say something right off the bat, and I want you to listen very, 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 very carefully. Listen to me right now. Preparewithlionel.com is the best emergency food It's My Patriot Supplies function there is. Okay. You can go, you can look at it. You know what emergency food is. Okay. Right now, with the tariffs going on, nobody knows anything. Okay. And with this comes reaction and retaliation and freakouts, the likes of which even that crack team of Fox News people can't figure out. Even Lawrence can't figure this one out. This is brutal. So when it comes to food, supply chains, retaliation, tariffs, who knows? Not to mention, have you seen the number? How many tornadoes were there, you said today? 4 different states. Weather manipulation. You can laugh at it. You can think it crazy. I am telling you, and you listen to me, and you know I'm telling you the truth. I don't know what this is. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where we're going, but you better prepare for something that is so big, we can't even figure it out. So go to preparewithlionel.com and store up on emergency food, not some little MRE. You go to Costco and you buy a couple of bags of, banana chips. No, this is like a 20-year shelf life, 2,000 calories a day. These are professionals. And not only that, ovens and solar radios. I mean, just look, you're not stupid. You know what emergency is, all right? We're not talking Army, Navy store stuff. This is huge. Go to preparewithlionel.com right now. Just use this, and you will open your world to trust me. I know it sounds like, are you being a doomsayer? Doomsayer? I'm pointing out the truth. Preparewithlionel.com. Okay, let's go back to this. Now, this is, again, just to bring you up to speed. Watching our friends this morning on just a little bit of trying to catch. Nobody understands tariffs in the least. In the least. It is, somehow go back today, and they're throwing to this poor guy Lawrence, and he's, I don't know, and the elites, and it's funny how people don't pronounce, they say pundits. This word pundit. Anyway, I love mispronunciations. I'm sorry. It's priggish. I can't help it. It's the way I am. It's the way I roll. And I'm thinking, that's great, Mr. President. Now, give me, a little chia seed. I want you, Mr. President, to let me run the show when it comes to something even more important. And this is the idea of this insanity. Now, first, hypocrisy. When you explain to somebody, define hypocrisy, I always go, I don't know how many times a day. But this is what I do to hear the beautiful definitional word of something. Hypocrisy is the practice of feigning, pretending to be what one is not, or to believe what one does not. The word hypocrisy entered the English language around 1200 with the sin. It meant meaning the sin of pretending to be virtue or goodness. Today, hypocrisy refers to advocating behaviors that one does not practice. It means you're pretending to be something that you're not. You say this, but you think something else. Okay? All right. Now, these folks have for so long, and I mean the left wing, and we're going to use words, left wing or whatever it is, these pundits or pundits, as people say. There are people who, for the longest time, they just never had to worry about whether they were consistent or not. Because why? Because I wouldn't be surprised if USAID and this particular funding from you and me went to these people. I know it sounds crazy to you, but I will bet you anything upon anything that all of this money went, And when you're MSDNC or Politico or whatever, and you're saying, listen, we're making money, go on and say whatever you want. Think about this. Think about if Breitbart or I don't know who, Fox News, Newsmax. Do you see Newsmax? They like dropped 78%. They called it a meme IPO. I don't know what this stuff is. How do I say this? We're going to be going back very, very soon to some real, let me just stop a bit. We're going to be going back to some real interesting times where we're going to be going back to things like, you know how we talk about vinyl and we go back to the usual things? Let me tell you something. We're going to be exploring new things. I want to give you a heads up now. I know a little bit more about it later. But I believe that this coming Friday night, well, it's actually Saturday morning, I'm going to be doing something which, you know, it's funny. You never thought you'd be doing this, but radio has always been this, there's this radio the way it's always been, so to speak. And the way it was exciting. Remember Long John Neville, and there was just late at night, late night kind of radio was kind of funny. Remember not Barry Grave, but Art Bell, and you know, it's just great radio. Anyway, Saturday, I think I'm gonna know later, but Saturday morning, this is when I'm kind of up, believe it or not, from 2 to 6. Watch who's going to be on WABC radio. And I'm telling you, I don't know if they know what they're doing. So I'm just saying, okay, let's see how this thing works. Because you do realize I'm an acquired taste, right? I'm just telling you this. Keep it quiet. Because this is something which is the most important thing in the world, is to go back and bring what we're saying elsewhere. So anyway, I'm not going to belabor the point there, but I'll just keep watching here. Make sure you follow my X Twitter at Lionel Media. But I think it's gonna happen, and it may be a one-time. They might say, "Oh no, no, sorry, because I have changed." And I don't know if anybody can frankly keep up with what you and I do. So anyway, enough being said with that. So stay on the lookout. And like I said, also, if you've just tuned in, I may do this at 5 a.m., 2 a.m., 3, and maybe 4, 5, 6 times a day. I don't know. I'm just doing it completely different. Because, and I will explain, if ever somebody is really bored, maybe I'll do a separate thing about how the dynamics of how YouTube changes and whatever. Anyway, so let's do it. Let's do a question. Did you see the picture of Kid Rock? Now, Kid Rock, as you know, Kid Rock was a part of this, what's the word? Kid Rock wore his nudie outfit. Now, when I say nudie, you know who Nudie is? Nudie was the fellow who I think it was Graham Parsons, and later on, I think it was the Flying Burrito Brothers. He did kind of Porter Wagner. He did those styles of clothes. And his name, I think he was a Romanian or Czechoslovak, who knows, but he was in Nashville, and he just was it from that particular style. I also want to go back to explain something to you also. The person who was responsible for Elvis, for Elton John, for James Brown, for this particular thing, those folks, it was a fellow, this was Gorgeous George Wagner. Everybody says it. James Brown, Elton John, others have said he was responsible with the capes and the gold. All right. So Kid Rock, goes to the White House wearing his outfit, and people are saying, was that appropriate? Was that appropriate? Is that what you were? These bastards never said a word when Zelenskyy, that grifter, that shill, remember this? That shill, when he shows up with a t-shirt and looks like a bum. They didn't care about that. That's hypocrisy. So they're saying, was this right? Kid Rock, it was a jacket. So what? If somebody comes in, what was his name? Evo Morales, whatever, the guy from, was it Bolivia? Who the hell knows? He has that, the hat and that. If somebody walks in with a full Indian headdress, if somebody wears a kippah or a kufi or whatever, I mean, what does it matter? This is President Trump's friend. But here's the deal. And this is the part that gets me. You ready for this? This is the part that gets me. Let's compare what Kid Rock wore, okay, to this guy. Now, this guy on the right, anybody know his name? Now look at Kid Rock. He's got fringe. He's got the American flag. What's wrong with that? Compared to Zelenskyy, that grifter. Now look at this thing on the right. What is this? What the hell is this? Do you know his name? You know his name? I like Essie. Essie Max says, oh my days. Oh Lordy. I bet you know what? Essie, you're probably one of these great, I bet you're a good cook. There's somebody who responds, but in a beautiful kind of a wonderful pastiche of Americana. There's a YouTube channel of this Amish girl. She looks right at the camera. I'll get it. And she says things I like, kind of, I don't want to say you're Aunt B, but I like Aunt B type of stuff. But anyway, look at this. Essie says, I love cooking. I knew it. And let me also say something what's great about this. This is very important. Why YouTube is so terrific. There was a time, just give me 5 seconds. I think cooking is absolutely one of the most fun things there is to do. Mrs. L is a great cook. We just like to, it's fun. It's chemistry, it's physics, it's temperature, it's chopping, it's cutting, it's planning, writing out. You know, when you do this, my mother told me this. She was doing mise en place before I even knew what it was. She'd have always a list. Do this first, do this first, do this first. It's planning, it's chemistry. In the old days, they had home ec. Home ec. Well, now the YouTube is wonderful. They've got, you name it. What do you want to do? It's there. Cooking is so cool. And look at the number of people who are into brining, pickling, preserving. What does that tell you about the economy? What does that tell you? Okay. Also, when you get a chance, check out, have you seen Japanese vans? Have you seen how people live in their van? These tricked out. What does that tell you? Okay. Remember, everything is changing, but you got to go to where to look. Okay. Somebody writes, YouTube actually sucks. Well, what are you doing here watching that? What are you talking about? YouTube is the best. I'm sorry. For variety? No, you don't mean that. No, you don't mean that. You don't mean that. I was listening the other night to some of the greatest lectures. Oh, I cannot tell you. I listen constantly. Sometimes I get into philosophy. Sometimes I think they're a little bit rough on some of their algorithms, but you don't mean it sucks. YouTube is the best. I hate to say it. YouTube has done more. Look at this. I like your show, but I don't like YouTube's rules. Okay. Well, that's okay. I don't like I don't like a lot of rules. I want a rule where there is absolutely no censorship whatsoever. None. I don't like where we're going in the world regarding censorship. I want people to be able to say, you know what I want to do, CC? I want to have warnings. I don't want to have rules. I want to have warning. Warning. There are some people. The very fact that we in this country are actually telling people that we're going to arrest you for being, quote, anti-Semitic when all you're doing is complaining against a government of Israel? Or that by being pro-Palestinian, you're anti-Israel? No, 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 no. I'm tired of this. The same thing with your homophobic, transphobic, this, misogynistic. No, I'm not. I'm making give you my opinion. But anyway, but let me look at this. SC Max, you can find almost any subject on here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me also tell you, can you tell me where there are no rules? Can you tell me where there are no rules? No. Can you tell me where you can say whatever you want? No, there's no such thing as that. I just want to have warnings. Warning. Warning. I was telling somebody, I said, do you, what is it that you, Lori Cuck, ladies and gentlemen, Sam Brinton, leave it to you, Lori. Leave it to you, dear heart. Leave it to you. You're talking, and by the way, his name is, you're right. In Tampa, we had a place called Britton Plaza, Britton. This is Brinton. Big deal. Big deal. But Sam Brinton is a former, well, look at this picture here. Former senior U.S. Department of Energy, DOE official, who made headlines, of course, because of whatever. He was appointed by Biden to in early 2022 as Deputy Assistant Secretary for Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition. This guy. Okay? They were one of the, he was, let me see, one of the first, quote, openly gender fluid officials in federal government leadership. This is what they were so thrilled about. This is identitarian nonsense. He holds dual master's degrees from MIT in nuclear engineering and technology policy. Oh, and by the way, when I was reading this, I kept saying they. His pronouns were they. So as I was reading this. Even this is from ChatGPT, by the way, is very woke, not woke, but very, very safe, so to speak. It says Britain was appointed by the Biden administration in early 22. They were one of the first openly and when I saw they, I thought, oh, there was another one? And then went back, me like a schmuck. I didn't realize they meant he. So they were one of the first openly gender fluid officials in federal government. They. Thank God, I think we're done with this pronoun bullshit. I think we're done with it. Now, here's the deal. Listen to this. Now, look, but just look at his face, though. They're worried about Kid Rock. Kid Rock. He wears a kind of a suit, like Porter Wagner, Nudie, Chris Hillman, kind of Grant Parsons, Flying Burrito Brothers look. But this guy dressed up like this, like Kojak with lipstick. Go figure that one out. In late 2022, Brinton was charged in two separate felony luggage theft cases. How sick is this? Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Brinton was caught on surveillance video taking a woman's Vera Bradley suitcase worth $2,325 from the baggage claim carousel. Why would you ever put that luggage on a baggage carousel? What? Of course, you got to get it open and all that stuff. Then, the Las Vegas Harry Reid Airport, they were also charged with stealing another suitcase worth $3,670. By the way, Mrs. L and I invested into, this is the thing which is the most important. You know how people have these little carry-ons? We got two good ones that you roll, two big ones. And we check them. It's a few minutes, no big deal. Don't have to worry about putting and finding the thing. Carry on. I don't know what that's about. There's a brand, Tumi, Tumi. This is not an ad for them. They're good. And they have been put through the ringer. I mean, it's the best suitcase. I mean, it's almost like this unique. You can throw it, you can do whatever you want. Wheels, it's beautiful, it's perfect. But $3,600? We have these friends who said, look, I got my Louis Vuitton. It's like, you're a schmuck. You're taking this to the airport? They're going to throw this thing around? You're checking that? What are you, nuts? Oh, my God. Anyway, people always want name brands. I want the best that works. There's a book called Quintessence. You should get this book. In any event, I digress. I am being discursive. That's who I am, ladies and gentlemen. That's who I am. I'm discursive. Hang on a minute. Where the hell am I? Where am I? That's not it. And I go here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Now, this in 2023, he had been. Remember this? Remember this, honey? He was wearing clothing that appeared identical to those stolen, including designer dresses. Fueling further. Anyway, he, of course, was relieved of his duties. So this guy is a lunatic who thinks he's a woman or dresses like a woman, and he's doing it to get a shock out of you. He wants you to be shocked. Yeah, whereas rubber, yeah. But here's the thing. The picture of Kid Rock. Oh no, that's too much. That's too much. See, that's crazy. Now, let me tell you another one, too, is I don't know where you were. Where were you? And this is important. I can't say this again. Hang on a minute. Where were you the first time you saw this thing? Remember that? This was Rachel Levine. Where were you? Remember? Nobody warned me about this. I was kind of new to this. And all of a sudden, this thing comes up and says, oh, my name is Rachel Levine. I said, what is it? What is this, a joke? Is this a joke? Is this some dinner theater version of Some Like a Who is this? What is this? What is this thing? Hello, I'm Rachel Levine. You're kidding me. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You know, remember there was a while back, there were these people who were, what the hell was it called? My Little Pony. There were these people, I saw this documentary of people who were involved in My Little Pony. They were crazy about My Little Pony. I didn't even know what the hell My Little Pony was. I didn't even know. I didn't know what the hell it was. I didn't know what it was. My Little Pony. Okay. What is it? It's My Little Pony. I know it's My Little Pony, but what is it? Well, these people love it. They love it. They love it. Well, what do they love about it? I don't know. Well, why? So anyway, okay, it's a free country. I don't give a damn. You want to be My Little Pony? Go ahead, be My Little Pony. But not at the White House. You don't show up dressed in your little unicorn outfit on because of the... No. Why would you do that? That's what this is. This is shock. This is, I'm sorry. I'm not going to wear you. This is the most frightening thing in the world. You realize, I mean, unless, look, it's a free country. I don't really give a damn. What I'm telling you is that, but this worked for the White House. You know how they want to use they? How about this? This thing works at the White House. I find that absolutely ridiculous. Nobody cared about that. Remember the first day there was there? Remember this thing? Remember Cooper? Look at this. Look at this thing. With the fingernails. I can't do his accent. The most over the top. He worked at the White House and Jen Psaki came in. Hi, Cooper. Hello. And Cooper was part of the White House's movement to try to instill an appreciation for vaccines. I kid you not. This thing showed up. I don't know where Cooper was. This is just the weirdest thing ever. And you're worried about Kid Rock? You're worried about Kid Rock? And then I'm going to tell you right now, one of the scariest things I've ever seen. And let me just tell you right now, please, if you have small children, If you're a lactating mother or you have a pacemaker, you might want to consult your physician before watching this. I'm going to show you that. And this may violate every rule of decency, every algorithm, every sense of rational comportment there is. Okay? I'm warning you. What I'm about to show you is, listen, and I've seen some pretty rough stuff. But when I saw this, I didn't know what to make of it. I'm telling you one last time. You might want to bail out right now. Okay? We sure? Okay. This. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to return to some kind of normalcy. I want to get down. I'm tired of pretending that I have to not say what I think about the obvious. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? This. Can you imagine what Obama's thinking and saying, what the hell am I doing? And you know, every time he appears in public. And this, have you noticed how Michelle is like out of her mind lately? She's out of her mind. I'm serious. She says stuff with her brother that they said, what advice do you have of being with a man who has no money or something? And she says, well, I did. I mean, she's like ragging on. She doesn't like Obama. Her whole, whatever she is owed to Obama and us, schmucks like us. Baby, we were born to run. This, dear God. But don't forget this. This is the one. Rachel Levine was it. This is the one picture to me where I think to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell everybody from the rest of my life. So these lefties have absolutely, they never said anything about men walking around dressed as women like lunatics. They thought nothing of it. It meant nothing to them. And let me tell you something. That's over. Let me just say right now, it's over. You know it's over. I know it's over. Zelenskyy shows up a t-shirt, that punk. And if he wasn't tooted out or wired on something, I don't know what. I've been around a lot of people like that, my friend. Sorry. You know, when you're born in my generation, no, you get to see people. Well, I've seen everything. Have you seen the Adderall look lately? You ever seen that one? Ever seen that one? Huh? You ever see people on all these kind of psych meds you don't know? And I've seen things. I've seen weird behaviors. And I know. And after a while, there can be a kind of an acclimation to this. Now, what's happening right now, which is so critical, what is so critical, and I mean this sincerely, what is so critical is that we have got to say, listen, and I want to say, Mr. President, may I speak on your behalf? May I? May I be in charge of your re-election or the Republicans? You can take all the Lara Trumps, all the J.D. Vances, everybody, Elon, okay? You want that? Let me do this. And my ad would be very simple. Hello. You probably are like me, who never thought, I can't believe I'm voting Republican. No, really. Because when I was a kid, Republicans were like, there was no left or right. It was the Democrats were the good guys. Sorry. JFK, RFK, they were really good. And by the way, JFK was not a lefty by any stretch of the imagination. This guy was a hawk. These guys were post-World War II. Understand their mentality. And then Donald Trump comes along. And he's changing everything. And I know people are going to tell you left and right. But imagine this is an ad. Ladies and gentlemen, these folks got bent out of shape because of this. I'm going to show you this again. The guy on the left is Kid Rock. The guy on the right is this guy, Sam Brinton, who steals luggage. He's a luggage thief. An actual thief. A thief. 2 times, 3 times caught shows up at the White House, not as a guest, not as at a barbecue. Remember, Kid Rock is a guest. He's not in charge of, you know, the he's at the Fed or the Department of Commerce. No, he's a guest. And Zelensky, no problem with this. But this thing on the right, no, he worked there. He worked in charge of nuclear waste. Now, if you think that's okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's fine. That's fine. See, because these people just don't. When it comes to sexual matters and gender, I don't know what happened. I've never seen anything like this. Maybe you can. I don't understand it. And all I got to show you is this one. I know I'm repeating. This is it. This is the one picture. If you want this, vote Democrat. And by the way, they were just getting started. Can you imagine where they'd be now? Trump put an end to that. Pete Hegseth is in the Pentagon, basically trying to tell people, trying to explain to people, you do understand that in order to be a soldier, you've got to be able to fight and you've got to be able to do certain things. You do understand that. And if you have to be able to carry a 100-pound a rucksack or whatever it is, and ammunition, if that is what you have to do to be a soldier, then you can't let this in. You can't let this fella in and expect him to compete with somebody who could do an obstacle course, who is with the 82nd Airborne, 1st Marine Division, somebody who's a ranger, somebody who did Hell Night, some Navy SEAL, when this guy's nails could be chipped. Now, I don't know where this is. And by the way, America, remember one thing, under the Trump administration, we believe in one thing. And I'm speaking on behalf of President Trump told me it was okay. What you want to do in the privacy of your home or walking down the street, you do it. If you want to go into a Walmart dressed like that, fine. Nobody cares. Do whatever you want. Don't involve children, small animals, or anybody who can't consent. But we are tired of the freaks. We are tired of the androgynous. And we are tired of the weirdos. And we're tired of people who want to come in and destroy our country. We are tired of people who hate this country. We are tired of people who live under this, who have this racist chip on their shoulders, who hate everything, who instead of thanking this country and kissing this country's arse, nowhere, in no part of the world could these two chidrulos ever rise to the power, because the guy on the left was placed there specifically by forces we don't know. Was it the intel, the deep state? I don't know. The shadow government? I don't know. He was picked and plucked out. He is so CIA connected. And his wife, well, I don't know. But now she's upset. And now she wants more than anything for you to understand, to pay her attention. So the bottom line is simply this. If you believe in common sense, that's all I'm telling you, then you will vote Republican. Now, all these guys, I'm not going to vouch for all of them. No way. No way. But there isn't one Democrat. There's a bunch of Republicans I like. Some I'm not too crazy about. But there is not one Democrat, not one worth a damn. Let me say this again. Not one. You ever had bed bugs? Cimex lectularius. They're hematophagic bugs. They are so, oh my God. They are so incredible. Had them one time. And if you see one, there's a million of them or 1,000. Just one. The bed bugs are so good. I one time had a bed bug. We had one, and I found one. They look just like little chia seeds. Flax seeds. They look exactly. And I had one. I put a glass over it. I put it behind the microwave. And I said, well, when the bug guy comes, I'll show him. I don't know how long. A year? I have no idea. But I'm moving something. Oh, shit, look, there's that bed bug. Could have been a year. I kind of shook the glass with it. It was still flying around. It was there for a year, just dormant, just waiting. These things are unreal. They multiply. You got to stop. You got to get rid of all of them at once. That's the Democratic Party. They're blood-sucking, hematophagic leeches. They're vermin. Oh, yeah. You can't let one. They're crazy. They're demented. And the thing they want to do is something as simple as male and female. They've taken it into this new political platforming. And they want to get your kids next. They want to screw you up and your kids. And they're sick. Think I'm kidding? Think I'm, here, you want me to show you the picture? I've got thousands. Did you see Biden with that guy, Billy Potter, Cooper, whatever? What's his name? Billy who? Billy Porter, walking around with a beard and a dress. You think this is okay? At the White House? And they're worried about Kid Rock, who's an invited guest, a friend of the president. These people they're hypocritical. They're so thrilled about Cory Booker. Cory Booker. Whoa! That's all I'm going to say. Everybody here in the area, New Jersey, Cory Booker, yeah, Cory, yeah. That's what people say. They don't really make any noise. They just have the eyebrows, going, you know about Cory, I don't know. And we have, Republicans got they got their Lindsey Grahams, okay, all right. What are you gonna do? Okay, all right, It's the strangest thing. You see where Trump had this new rule that says no honeypots, no relationship with Chinese. Eric Swalwell, he stooped some Chinese spy. Nobody talks about that. What's going on here? And the biggest thing in the world, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, the gift that keeps on giving. The best one will be Tiffany Henyard, who, by the way, she's not indicted yet. Tiffany Henyard is not indicted. Is she a rat? Is she some CI? Why hasn't she been arrested? They brought in Beetlejuice to, where's that thumb again? They brought in Beetlejuice to kind of check her out, so to speak, and found that she broke every kind of law in the world. Anywho, I would run Jasmine Crockett stories. Jasmine Crockett is so stupid. She does it. She came in. She says, and I walked in to the public defender's office, and I had no experience whatsoever. And I said, you better hire me. Why? He goes, because I'm black. DEI. Ta-da. You're a schmuck. What are you telling people that for? You have no experience. You have no qualifications. And they hired you because you're what? Because you're black. No. Did you not get the memo? Do you not know? What are you doing? What are you doing? This is ridiculous. Did you see that Ellie Mistel? This guy's out of his tree. Cory Booker talking for 4 hours or 25 hours? About what? I have no. Nobody cares. What are they planning? What's their goal? Ladies and gentlemen, they want to do two things. They want to take sexual reorganization, realignment, and they also want to take race, and they want to jam it and shove it down your throat. That's what they want to do. You like that? Does that make sense to you? If you like it, it's okay. It's up to you if you like that. But Jasmine Crockett is an idiot. She doesn't even understand. She was on yesterday or this past week with Oliver Stone and said basically, why are we trying to embarrass the CIA 62 years after the fact? Who cares? Who cares? This is a congresswoman on the committee. Those are your Democratic Party. This one's walking around in a dress. This one's spouting stuff. This one's screaming DEI. This guy's talking for 25 hours. And they're all psychosexually messed up. Or they're just stupid. I'll take psychosexually mixed up over stupid any day. Stupid is not fixable at all. There's no redeeming quality. Nothing. None. Zero. Now, one more thing. I want to bring you up to speed on this one. This is a damn good group here. If you right now, like so many people, are thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I am over my head right now in problems in the financial extremis. Remember this right now. Just do this. No debt with Lionel. Okay? You go there. No obligation. Talk to these folks. Watch how good they are in trying to take your, because there's nothing worse than feeling up where you can't sleep and you're thinking, what am I going to do? And it's not, a lot of people they say, well, you're in debt. Nobody gets into debt because some might have a gambling problem, but nobody does this because you're weak or stupid. Sometimes life's like that. Businesses are in debt. What do you think a mortgage is? Debt is something that makes the world go round. Sorry to say it. Somebody told me one time about Amazon. Amazon still hasn't made a profit. Amazon still hasn't made a profit. Now, I don't know if that's true, but he said, that when you say, hey, I like these barrettes. I'm gonna have this little box of barrettes sent me. They're losing money from the moment. Are you kidding? From the gas and everything. They're in debt. Everybody's in debt. The country's in debt. So debt is not the problem. It's when it's unmanageable. So go to nodebtwithlionel.com. Trust me on this one. Just see for yourself. It's the simple. When I say it's simple, it's obvious. Okay, obvious. That's all. That's all. No hard sell. None of that stuff. No hard sell. Oh, I want to say one more thing too, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this again. Did you see how great Mike Lindell's TV group is? Did you see this? Mike Lindell, he has this Lindell TV, and he have a cross, and these people are great. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, while we're at it, and they've been so good to us, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. They have lied about this guy. They're going to shut the doors down. They're going to do this. He's saying, what are you talking about? It's just like Elon. See, Elon's out. He's leaving. He says, I'm not leaving. Jennifer Levin, they're not. They lie, these people, because they hate us and everything about us. They just lie. And what they did to the folks with My Pillow, it's disgusting. He's still in business, and he's still a great person, and he deserves your attention. And they help people like me and people like us. That's all. Like I was saying, I'm telling you this. I haven't said anything. But I'll give you the 77 WABC. This is when I first came to New York. It's my first, well, I've been on another station, but. And they said, you want to do this overnight thing? Well, it's 2 to 6. I said, oh my God, are you kidding me? At night? Yeah. In New York City? And you can hear it on the app, whatever I said. New York? Overnight? Oh my God. Gene Shepard, anything, Art Bell, in the witching hour. You know who's up at that time? My people. Okay. You sure about this? Yeah. All right. So I'll give you the specifics, but it's going to be Saturday. Nobody knows this yet. Nobody knows this. Maybe they like it. And they're good people, but I scare people. You do know this, right? You do know I scare people. And I'm expecting people to say, you can't do this stuff. Because I want to talk about what we want to talk about. And what do you think that is? It's the naked, brutal truth. That's all. So we'll give it a shot. I'll keep you up on that. So anyway, this was great. I have look at this. The Pillow Man is a hero. Absolutely. Steve, you're so 100% correct. That's when my insomnia kicks in. I'll tell you. Insomnia, you know what it is. You know what it is, Kimmy. It's this circadian. It's your sleep. Sleep is the most wonderful thing in the world. I want to tell you something. And I'm going to give you a little bit of advice. And I want you to do me a favor, okay? Listen to me. I don't know if you've done this before. Number 1, go to a store, maybe a travel store. You can get them on Amazon again. You get one of those sleep masks. You want one that's just silk. Not that big hard thing with the holes in it. No. Just silk. And you want to blot out every bit of light That's even though your room is pitch black, still there's something about that, because it starts to play with serotonin. It starts to play with various not somniferous, but melatonin kind of things. Another thing which may work for you, may not. Stay away from Wi-Fi earbud if you can. Just plain old ear, buds or whatever. But there are so many sounds, 8 hours of either wind, sound. One of the most wonderfully hypnotic sounds is, believe it or not, the sound of an airplane or jet, a train, rain on a roof, rain on a tin roof, snow and wind, rain, sprinkle, rain and thunder and wind, rain and thunder and wind on a plane and a train. I mean, every combination, everything. And the third thing you've got to do, remember this. In America, we have this idea about napping. Napping, for some reason, they say, oh, that's like, what are you, lazy? No. It sounds crazy. If you do 5 minutes, you think I'm kidding? I prefer a little bit more than that. But just listen to it. Listen to music. Just something. But stop. Throw yourself off. Listen to what I'm telling you. Throw yourself off. You're going from doing this to saying, no, now I'm going to lie down, sit in a chair, whatever it is, and I'm going to stop for 10 minutes. And your body says, what is he doing? What is he doing? I think he's sleeping. What time is it? I think it's noon. What the hell's the matter with this guy? You think I'm kidding? It throws everything off. And it gives you don't know what it does to refreshing you. Do you know, listen to what I'm telling you, nobody can understand what sleep does. Now let me explain this to you. And when I tell people this, they immediately start answering. Why does sleep rejuvenate? Some animals do not sleep. They don't really say, they kind of go into dormant, like fish but sometimes birds, yeah, but some things like a shark can or something. What does sleep do? Some animals sleep for hours and hours and hours. Others don't. What does it do? They still don't know. They don't know what consciousness is, and they don't know what sleep does. What does it do? Sleep is wonderful. It's regenerative. It's also a sign of depression. It's a sign of inertia. It's a sign of anhedonia. It is a sign of a lot of things. So don't. These people say, I get up in the morning and I sleep 2 hours. That's nonsense. It's one thing to be great, but remember, you can sleep 2 hours, 3 hours at night as long as you nap during the day. I don't mean an hour, 5 hours. I mean 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to what I'm telling you. It changes everything. And I know people, especially Americans, say, oh, I can't sleep. I'm too busy. Oh, no. This is like working out. This is like going to the gym. You have to do this. And they don't even know yet what dreams are, whether it's undoing. Trust me, this is I remember in university, being a psych major. When people don't sleep, especially REM, like baby sleep, eyes dark. So just remember that. Insomnia, people they don't really give it much credence. It's very, very serious. I like this. Sleep removes toxins from your brain. Well, first of all, if you've got toxins in your brain, if they've traversed the blood-brain barrier, you've got serious problems. I know we speak sometimes figuratively. You know how to have these cleanses? Well, it's a good cleanse for your liver. What? Here's one for you. Nutrition Facts.org is the best. Michael Greger. If you consume one serving of berries a day, whether fresh, frozen, or dry, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, boost the activity of detoxifying enzymes in the liver. Now, what happens is there is something which is called hepatic turnover, and broccoli is the thing. Broccoli is still the best. The best detox is broccoli. Listen to this, which is interesting. There is an amazing phenomenon Dr. Greger talks about, in which a phytonutrient produced by broccoli can enhance the function of our so-called phase 2 enzyme system that aids in the excretion of foreign molecules. For example, if you feed people broccoli and Brussels sprouts, they clear caffeine quicker, as you can see in a video called Prolonged Liver Function Enhancement. The carcinogens, estrogens in cooked meat. If you knew how bad meat was, you can't believe. If you really want to get into this stuff, do you know that you should potato skins? Never. Skins fried, skin outside. Oh no! I think what? And people will say, "But I love them." It's like, if you really want to get into this stuff, this seed oil business, people will go crazy about seed oil because it doesn't mean anything. But that's as far as they'll go. If you knew what meat does, if you really understood it, and believe me, I was the biggest carnivore there ever was, it'll blow your mind. I mean, oh, and bacon, oh, good God. But my grandfather ate bacon every day. And people will always, this is this counterintuitive thing. Well, he's not dead. Okay. I know people who smoked. Keith Richards smoked forever. He doesn't even have COPD. He's still running around. You want to use Keith Richards as, anyway. What I'm saying is, if you're really interested, really, you're going to have to take the facts and not pick and choose that which you like. That's all I'm saying. It's an investment. That's all. That's it. So anyway, dear friends, thank you. And Laurie Cuck, God bless you. Laurie Cuck was our benefactor today. Laurie Cuck gets our gold letter. All right. So like I said, make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. I might be coming 2 hours from now. Might do another one. We'll see. I'll explain to you one day how this thing works. It's called Shocking the System. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Don't forget also to follow our what am I trying to say? Our sister's channel, so to speak, at Lionel Legal. All right, dear friends, have a great day. Don't ever change, and I mean that sincerely. Until then, remember, the monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue you. Dad.